What up, brothers? You know's returning for another new review to my channel. As promised yesterday in the unboxing video, and to any friends on Facebook, I said it would come in and it's here tonight. It's the Iron Man 3 Mark 20, otherwise known as the Python. I know there'll be a lot of people watching this video early because I said to a lot of people that Anthony sent it me. It hasn't cost me anything as it stands. It were basically a try before you buy, or if I didn't want it, then there would be one in the UK to sell. That is the case. I am going to clear up the fact that I've decided not to keep it, although I know I'll regret it. But I think because I've reviewed it and I've got my own sort of rules as what I collect, I am sticking to the 42 Iron Man for now. So I don't really see a need for another one. So it's only fair that I give the subscribers to my channel the chance to pick up this Hot Toys exclusive. I know people are craving for it and I can understand why. It is a really nice piece. So I'm going to explain how you can buy that, and it's not just as simple as agreeing the price and buying it, because I've got to have had about 30 to 40 people asking for a price on this, and I pretty much said the same to all of them. We'll do the business after the review, because first I didn't know if I was keeping it myself, and secondly I knew the price, and I also wanted to know, for everybody who can't get it, is there a way that others can get it for a similar price? That's not the case, but I will explain that probably when I get to value. So please watch the review. I'm going to try and make it as brief as I can without missing anything out, but I know you're waiting for this review, and then the Ancient Predator, because it's same sort of setup with that, and then after that I'll review my own Diamond 2 figure from Damn Toys. So that will be the order. But let's have a close look at the figure. Like I said, it is a beauty. Very, very nice. I think it's one of the most eye-catching Iron Man figures I've seen. I do like the mix and match sort of parts from different Iron Men. I will try and cover what I know, tell you what I like about it, and also do a fair score on it. I'm not just going to give 5s out of 5s for everything for the sake of it selling, because this bitch sells its sense, so I ain't got to try and oversell it to you. And you know, I'm not a bullshitter who's putting Anthony's sale before the honest truth of the figure. So it will get an honest score, and like I said, the people that want to buy it will have the chance to. If they listen to the review, they will know what they've got to do to buy this figure. So let's roll on. I'm going to do source material. There's not really a lot I can say because I said it on the Silver Centurion and the Mark 42. I quite like the Iron Man 3 movie. I thought the villain was really weak. I thought the fact that the alternate suits didn't really introduce them as I would have wanted. I think it would have been an idea to show us around the suits and told us what were difference in the variants or whatever, or they're just a colour change. I think that's not the case. I think they all do different things or meant for different purposes. I think that's the situation, but it never explained that to us, and I think Marvel missed a trick with that. I will say though that Hot Toys sort of doing the suits, I've always been one who always said they're milking lines, and they are. Any way you look at it, they are milking lines. But my biggest gripe used to be the fact that while they were releasing the different Iron Men, they weren't releasing other stuff. Now, I don't think that's the case, because you look at Hot Toys at the moment, they're pretty much releasing a figure a week. So if you've got a company releasing figures of this standard and there's one that you want every month, then I think that's enough to ask. So although they are milking the lines, I think that they are also churning out other stuff too. So source material, I don't even remember seeing this armour in the film, but I'm not going to knock down the fact that I give an Iron Man 3 a 3 out of 5. That's what I give to the Mark 42 and the Silver Centurion, and that's what I'm going to give to this. I'm not really taking into account that it's not even in the movie, or I don't remember seeing it. Probably a backdrop to one of the fight scenes, but like I said, it didn't catch my eye in the film, but the figure does. So like I said, on the source material, I've given it a 3 out of 5. Rolling on to packaging, and I'm going to make this brief because there's not a lot to see. In fact, I'm not even going to show you inside, the back or the sides, because all the artwork is on the front. It's pretty uniform to the other Iron Man boxes, which is no surprise. The outstanding thing that you would notice is the Hot Toys exclusive sticker. I don't know how exclusive it will be, if it is just the Hong Kong Toy Fair or if there is a massive pre-order through Sideshow. Either way, Sideshow don't have it yet, so if you're wanting this figure, the only place you can get it is Hong Kong at the moment. Now, that's represented in the prices, but like I say, the sticker does come with the Hot Toys exclusive. That will make it more valuable over time, I think. The artwork is sort of a flat background with no raised sections on the wording, but sort of on sections of the box, it's like a really fine grain or like a really fine sandpaper. Can you see the way it catches the light? It's got the like really metallic look, and it's like just a profile shot of the armour, which is quite nice. What I will say also is this figure came in an unopened Hot Toys shipper box with the Hot Toys tape on it, and I think it had the plastic inside also, but there's still rub marks sort of there and there, so I don't know if they do that before it gets packaged up, but I want to show that because like I said, this figure will be for sale, and I don't want to sell it with anything not noticed. But the box is in good condition, it's shipped really well, but the artwork is about standard, I would say. So I'm going to represent that in the score and only give it a 3 out of 5. Moving on to likeness, and you know I only normally cover facial likeness. Now, I can't do that with this because there's no face sculpt. So where they did with the Silver Centurion, put as a Tony Stark head. With this one, obviously, because in the film, I don't think he ever jumped into this outfit. I think that's what stopped him from putting a Tony Stark sculpt underneath the faceplate. I don't know. I suppose if you're an Iron Man collector, it don't really matter because you'll have it displayed pretty much in all armour. But if it were your only Iron Man figure, I think you would need a Tony Stark sculpt to give you the pose option, so to speak. So, for me, it doesn't piss me off, but if it was the Iron Man I were keeping, then it would piss me off. I would be looking for a sort of a Tony Stark head sculpt without an helmet. That's what I would be doing. But like I said, if you think you're buying this with a Tony Stark sculpt, you're not at all. So that kills this category a little bit for me. So what I am going to do is just talk about the helmet. And what I will say is, what I say about the helmet pretty much goes for all the body. The contrast between the gold and black is awesome all over. The spray job on the gold sections are really nice. The colour of the black, it's not just a flat black, it's like a metallic black. The highlighted sections you can see on sort of the ear and the wrap round that goes around the back, really well done. Some people have said it is the same helmet as the Silver Centurion, and that could be the case. Obviously repainted. Not a problem though, because it's not just a copy of the entire body. It's pretty much, the way I understand it is, it's the Silver Centurion head with a Mark 7 body to the waist, and then the legs are bulky like the Artbreaker version, I think. I haven't seen the Artbreaker version, but I'm told that that's what it is. Either way, it doesn't look like any of them because, like I said, there's sort of massive contrast in the paint colours. The use of the black with the gold just makes it look pimping, to be honest, blinged out, and that's what I like about it. So like I said, I understand as well the lights are blue on this, have got a blue tint, but I've not put the batteries in simply because once I knew I weren't keeping it, I think that's a job for the owner to do. Simply because I don't want to slip with a screwdriver and scratch the paint, and also it's then for the buyer to decide, do I want the batteries in or am I not bothered? So that's why I haven't. So you won't see it lit up in this video. But it looks like an Iron Man, which is, it should do. They've done enough versions to make them look like Iron Man figures. But like I say, the lack of the Tony Stark head sculpt kills the likeness for me a little bit. So I can only give it a 2 out of 5. Just talk you through the pose. Pretty much got him, you see, on the dynamic flight stand, what Anthony sent me kindly. And I've got him just coming down to land. He's using the thrusters on his hand to just bring him in for a nice soft landing. I will say at this point as well, I don't want to cover articulation yet, but that is as far as the foot will dip forward. So the articulation on the foot is not as good as some of the other versions. But like I say, I think that's because of the bulking, the different setup of the ankle. So, but I will get around to that. So yeah, he's coming down to land. He's got his air brakes on behind him. I'm all opened up. Let's move him to the side so we can have a good look at him. shot him from all these angles. Beautiful. He looks like a beetle with his wings out. That's what he looks like, with all black down his back. Look at that. Foot formation. So yeah, just a little sneaky peeky around him before we get on to the suit. But like I said, coming back to the likeness, I can only give it a 2 out of 5. Right, moving on to the outfit. And what I'm going to do for this, because I'm using top at dynamic flight stand to hold my camera now, which just keeps the Iron Man in shot, so I can go all American on you and I can emphasise my point with my hands like that, like all big boys do. You know what I mean? I want to be in big boy gang, so I'm going to do all this. Not really, but what I can do is I can now move the figure around and show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the articulation and the outfit together so that you understand. I will put some pauses in so I can swap off the pieces, because I don't want to start fiddling around with them on camera, but you will see from as it is to as it will be if you change it. So, because we've got the camera set up like this, we'll talk about the head first. Obviously, it has got a really, because it's same as the Mark 7, it has got a really good tilt, as you can see. So you would get him into a flight pose, really nice. One thing I don't like about this head, or the new Iron Man heads, the batteries for the lights are inside the head. Now if you look sort of here, there's a little catch, and you've got to sort of put your little plastic thing inside the head, lift the skull cap off and put the batteries inside. Now again, I'm not going to do that simply because it's not going to be my figure, so I don't want to start tinkering around with it like that and either risk breaking the skull or putting the batteries in. Like I said, I didn't want to. So, but the batteries do go inside this upper portion of the head. You would like pop that off, there's a screw, put your batteries in, put them back on. The downside is every time you want to put the lights on and off, you've got to keep popping this bit off, and sooner or later the little catch that keeps it in place is going to end up snapping. So I don't really like that setup. I'd prefer them to go back to the batteries in the neck and then the switch on back at neck, and that were better for me. So yeah, you see the arm articulation, they are on a ball joint on the inside of here, so you can push them right up or pull them down. They do articulate forward and back, but I'm bringing that down because the shoulder sections, which wraps round and goes into this part, are interchangeable, same as the Mark 7. You can have them with the missile pod open, or you can have that removed, and then there's a smaller flap which makes him look a lot smaller across the shoulders. So what I'm going to do is put a short pause in here and I'll go to the missiles opened, I think. So now as you can see, I've just swapped out the shoulders and it's got the opened missile pod, very similar to the Mark 7. In fact, exactly the same apart from the different colour. Turning it around, looking at the back formation, you have the large flaps here, here, and then the lower ones here and here. Work really nicely. His arms are slightly in wrong position. The button for the chest is there and the battery cover is there, look. Again, I've not put those in. On the inside of these, you do get a small section that also lifts like so. If you just wanted those open, it does. Yeah, that's that section. Now what I'll do is I'll swap the open missile pods and put the smaller shoulder section in to make him look more flat shouldered. So as you can see now, it looks like the shoulders are a lot flatter and the missile pod is lowered down. That's the effect it's supposed to give. So obviously now the head looks a lot taller on his shoulders. It's simply because this section is sort of lower than when the missile pods are on there. Moving down, these sort of fins inside here will just pop off, as you can see. So where you would have the gold highlighted sections, you can now sort of see the fins on his rib cage, and that's just a matter of, you don't have the little plastic prize thing prying stuff off, but Uncle Rick Meister can do it just with his fingers. So yep, you can see that. The ab section pulls up, will rotate, crunch, reverse crunch. Like I say, does articulate really nicely. Drops back in nice. The arms, the warning in the book tells you only to go to 45 degrees. I will say the arm articulation would be okay, but in certain places the lower armour clashes with the upper armour, so be very careful because you don't want it rubbing against each other. Also, it warns you that keep posing it or leaving it a pose for any amount of time. The black rubber section inside the elbow will perish, so just think about that. So now these pods here do go to the missile out, which I will swap to now. As you can see, change the so the missiles are popped out. You do get one for either arm. Like I said, anybody who's got the Mark 7, you know exactly what I'm showing you, so it's no news to you, but I can't take for granted that everybody's seen the Mark 7. The hands, you do get an articulated set, a repulsor blast set, and a set of fists, everything you would need. Again, they do all work and serve a purpose. Right, moving down. There's no drop section on the pelvis this time. It's not like the Mark 42. It's pretty much back to the sort of the Diet Iron Man sort of setup. And I will say, while I'm talking about the suit, when you're holding it, it feels light as a feather compared to what I'm now used to with a 42. Although it is quite a bulky Iron Man, it still does feel a little bit light and a little bit hollow. Anyway, right, the articulation, we'll go to about there on the upper leg. I will say on this, I really do like the design of the legs. I like how the knee opens, can you see? It just feels really smooth. But what I will say is, it's probably the loosest feeling knee section on any Iron Man I've ever seen. Another thing I'll point out, let me just move the camera forward a touch. Another thing I will point out, when the leg is straight, can you see there's a drop away section here from the back of the leg? Look, when it's straight it locks in. I do like it. It does help the articulation. Like I said, sometimes you stand him up and his knees feel a little bit loose, so just bear that in mind. But I do like how that moves. There's no interchangeable parts on the legs. There could be. These could probably swap out, but they're not. Like I said, these pods on the side, they do look nice, but they don't change. And then, like I said before, the ankle articulation is not outstanding, to be honest. It's just one movable flap sort of there, and then his toe does move, but there's not much movement in the ankle. So that is pretty much the body. It does look nice, it is functional, but they've already done better with the Mark 42, so you've got to bear that in mind. If you've got a 42, the colour on this one might blow you away, but the body's nothing sort of revolutionary, so bear that in mind. So to score it, the look of the outfit and the interchangeable parts and everything, I really like the black and gold. That is the eye-catching thing, and then sort of the silver on the hip section here. I do like how it's turned out. It is really, really nice. It's got a, I think I said in the unboxing, it's got like a ninja-ish feel to me. And like, I don't just mean just the ninja, the kung fu ninjas, but I think, I can't remember who it were now. Might have been Honda? I don't know. I'm sure there were motorbike art in mid-90s that were made by somebody and it were called a ninja, and I'm sure it came in these colours, and that's what it reminds me of. So I do like that about it. The outfit sort of looks wise, I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give the outfit a 4 out of 5, just because we've seen some of the things before with it and it is just a mix and match. Although I will say the colour and sort of, if we look a bit closer as well, I didn't really point out, there is like scrapes, see here, scuff marks. It's not that I've been rough with it, it is meant to be there and it is a nice effect. So yeah, I do like that. I don't know what to give it. I'm not giving it a 5 because like I say, a lot of it I've seen before on the Mark 7. And I will say at this point, if you do want a bang-on comparison with the Mark 7 stood side to side, I will put Budget Stark's little comparison video in the link below, so check that out as well, because he had them stood together and he showed round both figures. So yeah, I will show that. But the outfit, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5, and the articulation, I'm also going to give that a 4 out of 5. It does move nicely, but it's not reinventing the wheel like the Mark 42 did for me. So that's how I've scored it. Right, rolling on to extras. And this shouldn't take long either. It doesn't bring a lot. Nowhere near as much as the Mark 7, which would be its closest brethren, I do think. So let's have a little dive in and see what it brings. Obviously, the figure is beastly, like I've said. Show you the pose. Got him stood, firing the rocket off. Blast stand behind him. So that's pretty much the pose I've gone for. The biggest of the accessories is the Diet Coke version of the stand. It is a dynamic bendable stem, which I do quite like. The only downside with it is when you put that around his hips, his feet are somewhere here. You can't really have him stood up. And if you have got him stood up, you've got to put a massive bend in backwards, forwards, and then upwards to grab onto his waist, which is easier said than done, to be honest. It's at a length where it becomes very fiddly. So I don't know why they didn't either just go for a crutch grab stand, or one that is just the length of his legs, so to speak, so you could just have him stood up. I don't know. Same as the Silver Centurion base, no nameplate. There is like a battery cover underneath, although there's no switch for the lights, so it's not a light up base. So again, half measures. Don't cut the mustard with Uncle Rick Meister. So let's say it is a base, but they're not pulling no trees up. The different shoulder formations, that's with the obviously the bulkier shoulders, but with the missile pods closed. Moving forward, the right and left with the missile pods open. Nice touch. I will say I preferred on the Mark 7 when the tips of each missile had like the red dots on them. A lot more eye-catching than these were just the black dots. It makes them sort of fade into the background. So I do prefer the Mark 7 paintwork on the open missile pods. Moving forward, set of sculpted fists, which I like on an Iron Man figure because sometimes the articulated ones don't do a really tight fist. The articulated hands, obviously that's the left one. The right one is on. Sort of blast hands, and then the different gauntlets. That's for the fists and the articulated hands, and that's for if you've got the blast palms on with the sort of bend in it. The forearm missile pod, you get one for the right arm, one for the left, or the closed casing, which is that. Batteries and the little tool for opening the compartments on it. So you get 9 of the small batteries and then 3 of the larger ones. I haven't looked actually to see what the 3 large ones are for, but it does tell you how to fit the batteries in the instruction manual. So what's missing? Obviously Tony Stark head. I would think possibly a battle damaged chest plate, and possibly some kind of interchangeable part on the leg. I would think maybe the thigh section, but you don't get it. So there is things that they've missed. Where other Iron Man have covered all bases, this one really hasn't. It's really for an hardcore Iron Man collector, or somebody who just wants that black and gold version and don't really care what comes with it. So like I say, I think the figure will have a lot of fans, but when you look at it, am I getting value for money? As in, am I getting plenty of bang for my buck? You're not really, but I don't think that will really hinder the price. Like I say, your accessories are pretty much in shot. So I've given the extras just a straight down the middle 3 out of 5. A Tony Stark head sculpt would have bumped that up to a 4 or 5, but like I said, they didn't put it in, so I can't give it a score when it didn't bring certain things. Right, moving on to the value, and probably the only part that most of you have stayed to listen to. You want to know how you can buy this figure. Now, I've had a think about it, I've had a talk to Tony about what am I going to do. I've had a shitload of messages, some from people who I'm really close to, want to buy this figure. Did I want to keep it myself? That was the first question, because I thought, if anybody's getting the deal, it's going to be me. Nah, like I said, because I don't want multiple Iron Mans, and also because I feel that it's better to go to somebody who really, really wants it and not somebody who just wants to have it for the sake of having it. So I'm not going to keep it. It is available. Now, I've got the price, and you know I don't talk about prices on videos. So if you're interested in this, I'm going to say it from this review going up. Get in touch with me. I'll give you the price. Now, the price is Anthony's price, what he would sell it to me for, or any of you. It is one price. I weren't getting it no less than anybody else. Some of you might know that price if you've spoke directly to Anthony, or if you've spoke to me already and asked for a definite price. Like I said, the price is non-negotiable. It is what it is. You can either afford it or you can't, or you either want it or you don't. That is it. The price to tone it plus the shipping from me to you. Now, a lot of guys will pop up and say, will I sign it? If it means that much to you, of course I'll sign it. Not a problem. I don't want you to be embarrassed to ask, because if anybody's embarrassed, it's probably going to be me. So if you want it signing, I will sign it, yeah, and put that it's being reviewed by me if it matters to you. If you don't want it signing, no hard feelings. I won't even suggest it, so to speak. So you want to know, how can I get it in front of these 35, 40 other people who wants it? Get in touch with me. When the review goes up, I'll give you the definite price. Like I say, it's non-negotiable. No, I won't wait till payday. No, I can't hold it for you. No, I won't exchange it. The price has got to be paid to Anthony. That's where the money goes to. And then the shipping that you pay me will be the cost of shipping. I'm not making a brass farthing off these figures. I don't want you to think I am. Like I said, I could have bought it. I've got the money in my PayPal. I could have bought it myself, sit on it for 6 months, and then cash out on it, because it will make money. We know that. But like I say, if anybody's desperate for it and they want to buy it, then get in touch with me. Then what I will do, when I'll give you probably till this review will go up, so it'll be up for tomorrow morning UK time. By tomorrow night, I'm going to put all the names I've got, and I'm going to do a Google live feed. And what I'm going to do is all the names, they're coming out Clipper King's flat cap, and I'm going to pull 2 names out. The winner, he's got about an hour, 2 hours to buy it. If he don't buy it, then it goes to the second place. And then if they don't buy it, then it's going to whoever I want to have it. And I can't say no fairer than that. So that is what's going to happen. If you want this figure, you've got to ask for the price. I'll give you the price. If you would definitely want it, then I'll take your name down. It'll get screwed up on a piece of paper. It'll go into Clipper's flat cap, and it'll get drawn out, like I said, live on the show. I'll do a short Google Hangout, put it on a live feed. You can all watch me draw it, and I'll pull out 2 names. Like I said, the first bloke gets the first crack at it. He's got an hour or 2 to pay for it. If he doesn't, it goes to the next. And if he doesn't pay, then it goes to whoever I want to have it. So that is the situation. Value wise, you don't get a lot for your money. I will say as well, the price on this is a lot less than any I've seen on eBay. So bear that in mind. You are getting a bargain, and you know you are. Other than that, you can wait for a month or 2 and get it from Sideshow if you want it for less, or do what you want to do. But this price in hand, by end of this week, the price is the price, like I said. So yeah, the value, I'm going to give it a 3, because it costs, well, I suppose it's in line with all the Iron Man figures now. It costs big bucks, I suppose. Anyway, all these figures cost big bucks, so that's how it goes, I suppose. But I think it will be a sought after Iron Man. If the Mark 7 went up and the Mark 4 went up and the Mark 6, this one will go up as well, because I think this will be highly sought after. It'll be a nice addition if you are getting the trying to get the complete set. So I think the value will go up. But because you don't get a lot for your money, I am only giving it a 3 out of 5. So to sum it up, it's got 22 and a possible 35, which is good, I suppose, for the fact that the box is very plain and there's no Tony Stark head sculpts. They're what kill it most. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the review. But for now, I'm out of here.